Hello, my name is Bryce Tubbs. With me today is Nicole Mazzucato, and she's a therapist and coach at Nicole Mazzucato. And she's helping entrepreneurs and executives overcome imposter syndrome and get the confidence that they need to authentically connect with clients, colleagues, and cash flow. I'm super excited to have her here. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Nicole.
Hey Bryce, thanks for having me here. Really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you too. And for those watching, if you're watching this from any location outside of our free community, I just want to personally invite you inside. Inside, we're having great conversations, and it's a mastermind where we come together and support each other every day. So if that's what you've been missing in these, times where people feel isolated, I recommend you come and join us inside. There's gonna be a link either above or below the video. Now, Nicole, what was life like before you got into coaching, and what was the catalyst that brought you into the field?
So I actually used to be an English teacher, mostly based in Spain. English is a foreign language. And I loved the job when I first started, but it slowly started to lose its, charm, because everything just became more kind of exam focused and exam centered. And just people stopped coming to classes for the love of learning a language. They came to classes for the pressure of having to get a certificate to be able to graduate or to get a job or whatever it was. Just the environment just stopped feeling right for me, and I was looking for something else. I've always kind of been a coach unofficially to people wherever I've been, to students in different capacities and different jobs that I've done. And then I came across coaching and hypnotherapy, and it just kind of, it was like a light bulb moment. And I was like, yeah, this totally sounds me and what I want to be doing. And it just completely resonates. And I studied, I trained, and that was my turning point, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't all as easy as maybe that sounds.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. So nowadays, who do you mainly work with, and what problems are they coming to you to solve?
So I mainly work with entrepreneurs and executives, men and women, that suffer with imposter syndrome, and that could be anything related to confidence, in terms of entrepreneurs not connecting properly with their audience, not having problems doing lives or doing videos or putting content out, being scared that their voice is not worth being heard, basically anything to do with visibility and things like that, which means that they're also, a lot of people that are afraid to ask for money, that have a lot of issues around money and are afraid to sell their services. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's a really difficult position to be in, because as an entrepreneur, obviously you need to be able to offer your services. You need to be visible, especially if you're selling your services as opposed to a product. So it means that the business, there is no business really if you're not willing to put yourself out there, and you're not able to connect with your clients, and you're not able to ask for money.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question. So, what's maybe the first step for someone to start, either being able to ask for money or maybe doing that live video? What's the first step they can take?
So it sounds a bit cliche, but the first step to doing anything is to doing it, right? So especially when it comes to, say, visibility, say doing a video, if I'm working with a client, I'll get them to start off by doing a video one-on-one with me. And then maybe we'll record the video, and then I'll get them to maybe post that video if we feel that video is good to post. Another thing that people might be able to do is get interviewed at least for their first couple of videos, get a friend or a family member to just sit behind the camera and just ask them some questions, because it's so much easier to speak when somebody's speaking to you. People find doing lives really difficult because they're talking to no one and everyone at the same time. So having that other person there behind the camera asking you some questions really helps. And I had a client specifically in mind. She got her husband to do that for her, and she's now just kind of taken off with videos, and her business has taken off because she's visible. She's showing her knowledge and her skills, and she's doing really well.
Nice. Let me ask you this question. So right now, maybe certain people are thriving, certain people are struggling. What's the biggest takeaway you've gotten from this quarantine time?
Oh, it's a difficult question. There's so much going on, and there's so many aspects to it. I think the biggest thing is authenticity. Like, people crave authenticity, and if you're not being authentic in how you show up for your business, for your clients, for your audience, people can see that, and they're very quickly going to turn away from that. And I think that has maybe come to the surface even more during this whole pandemic, that people are online that much more. And if they're not connecting with you as a real person, then the chances are they're not going to connect. There's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, called Joe Wicks. He's the body coach. He's like the UK's PE teacher, and he's very authentic in the way that he's come across, and he's smashed it over COVID, over this whole lockdown and pandemic and everything. And he's very unapologetically him, and he shows his vulnerability. He shows his strengths, his weaknesses. He show, his family, he introduces his kids and things like that. And people want to connect with that side of you as well as an entrepreneur. They want to know who you are.
That's really interesting. That's a good point. So maybe let's ask this question, right? Because I've seen this a couple of times where a person is trying so hard to be authentic and really show every aspect of their life, they end up becoming inauthentic, or people, can you talk about that balance?
Yeah, sure. I mean, isn't that just human nature? We try so hard for everything because we have this idea that we need to be perfect in all of these concepts. But what is perfect authenticity, right? So like you say, people are pushing and pushing and pushing to be so authentic that becomes inauthentic. So it's just being natural. It's not trying, not trying so hard. It's finding the balance between this is who I am and this is everything that I need to be, right? You don't need to be anything. You just need to be, and that's it. Which is actually more difficult than it sounds.
Yeah, I was like, whenever someone one word responds the definition with another, I was like, oh. So maybe some tips for those watching. Like, if you're trying to be authentic, maybe take a deep breath. Everything that you think that you're supposed to be. For example, one of the clients I was coaching, he wants to appear like a guru. So everything he does has to be super serious. He has to use big words. He has to tell people that they're wrong. And I'm like, no, relax. Don't worry about what people think of you. Talk. And then you're going to be more authentic than if you're trying to pretend to be something. It's almost like, let me know if you agree with this, that people have some kind of perceived idea of what they're supposed to be, like what a life coach is supposed to be or what a relationship coach is supposed to be, and they try and portray that. Do you agree with that or not really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost it's interesting because this has been a topic that's been coming up quite a lot recently in terms of being a coach or a life coach, and you take on that role, and a lot of people with that role take on this idea that they have to be perfect and they have to know all the answers and their life has to be perfect and everything has to kind of fit into this almost Stepford Wives box, right? But that is inauthentic, because that's not it. Your life can be as perfect as imperfection allows it to be, or as you allow it to be, and bring that to the table. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. I mean, I used to be a teacher, and that was one of the most valuable lessons I learned, was to hold my hands up in a class and say, I don't know the answer to that. I'll find out and come back to you. But when you're coaching, doing life coaching or some kind of coaching, you don't know everything and you're not expected to know everything. My role as a coach is to be a mirror, and that's how I see it, is to reflect back to you what you can't see, and to help you pull that apart and make progress. It's not my job as a coach to give you answers. That's not my role. It's not my job. I can help you, I can help you come to your own conclusions, but it's not for me to, I'm not an accountant, I'm not a lawyer. It's not for me to sort those things out for you. It's for me to help you see what you can't see.
Mm. Let me ask you this question, just kind of thinking about the future. What does life look like for you, maybe down the road or as far down as you like to think or talk about?
Life, I mean, I'm also going through my own process internally at the moment. I'm working with my own coach, and really it's all about gratitude, appreciation, and being authentically me. That's what life looks like in the future. Staying connected with the people that want to be connected with me. I don't want to be connected with anybody who doesn't want to be connected with me. And that's fine. Learning to be okay with that as well. Learning to be okay with people not wanting to be connected with me. That kind of sense of rejection and things like that. Like, no, that's okay. That's all right. I can own that those people don't need to be part of my circle. So life for me is to continue doing what I'm doing, to continue building my business, to continue making an impact and helping people get confident, overcome traumas, overcome patterns and all of these things that have happened in their life that have brought them to where they are today and made them stagnate, and help people grow in the way that they want to grow. And somebody said something to me recently, was like, satisfaction in the here and now is all there is. So achieving that satisfaction in the here and now, I guess, is all I'm aiming for.
Okay, that's great. Let me ask you this question. Are you working on anything new right now? Any projects, programs, coaching spots open up, or?
Yeah, so my husband's actually a personal trainer. So we've recently launched a new program where it's a combination of personal training with coaching, with confidence coaching. So that's a separate project. And that's doing really well. We've had amazing feedback from the clients that have been on that already. The combination of the two, the physical training with the mental, emotional, spiritual coaching has really, the idea is that it's really building you up from the core, literally from the physical core, the emotional, the mental and the spiritual core. So that's having a massive impact. And in terms of coaching spots, I've got a couple of coaching spots open at the moment. So yeah, that's what's going on at the moment, and I'm excited. Yeah.
Where can people go to learn more about you, or where can they go to connect with you further?
And they can connect with me on LinkedIn. I don't know if you're going to leave a link with this video somewhere, or they can go to my website, which is nicolemazzucato.com, and also on Facebook and Instagram, all under the same name, Nicole Mazzucato.
Which is spelled?
NICOLE MAZZUCATO. That felt like a spelling test. I was like,
yeah. At least you didn't have to read it off, though. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're reading it, the biggest fear when you're reading on camera is if you suddenly go dyslexic and a letter flips or you miss a letter.
Yeah. And then everything just gets all jumbled. Yeah.
Well, then, because everybody can see it.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on and really speaking to us and really, helping us out.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invitation. It's been great to connect with you, Bryce, and I definitely recommend joining Bryce's community. He's got awesome stuff in there and great connections, and absolutely recommend it.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, for those watching, I know that right now a lot of people are either in transition or maybe they're having trouble really, connecting with people. So we just created this as a way for people to come and connect together. So if that's what you've been missing out on these times, come and join us by clicking the link either above or below. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as we enjoyed creating it. Feel free to hit that share button so other people can get some great value as well. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. We're done recording in 3 and 2 and 1.